Well, hello everyone back in. Happy Friday. It's a pleasure to have you here at Crypto's News, where we cover what is happening to keep you on top of cryptocurrency so that you can, I don't know, go out there and make some good trades for yourself. Although we don't specifically tell you what to buy here, right? Not financial advice. Buy this coin and that coin and this coin and that coin. But now is the time to be shopping, right? If we really are in the depths of a bear market, then whatever you think is going to survive is really what you should be picking up here. It seems though like people in crypto have a very short memory though. So I think was it Colin Talks Crypto on Twitter that said the other day, I kind of agree with him that really the only coins that are a guarantee, at least to me and the way he put it as well, to surpass their old all-time high in the next bull market are probably Bitcoin and Ethereum, but surely others will as well. But it wasn't the case where you saw every single coin from the other bull market from back in 2017 also peak higher during this last rally. So yeah, it's pretty much like throwing darts at a dartboard because the crypto community, again, just has the memory of a goldfish in some cases, and it will move on to latest and greatest thing, whatever that may be. But if you think you're onto it, you're welcome to shill it down in the comments below. And if it does seem super interesting, I will, of course, be looking into it as I've done throughout time. But anyway, that's just whatever random spiel came off the top of my head as we're getting started here. But I hope you guys are having a great day. It's Friday, made it through another week in crypto, and there is some news as usual that I wish to cover to make sure that you're in the know. So let's start off as we often do here with the prices. I invite you to hit that like button if you've yet to do so, and leave a comment. Thank you for those of you who do leave comments. It does help the algo. It helps feed the algo gods and therefore this channel as well if you do enjoy it. So if we're looking at the prices today, Bitcoin enjoyed some nice volatility. It dipped down. I think people are trying to find a reason that might not necessarily exist for the most part, but I think some of it had to do around what some Fed officials were talking about. It came out that apparently they were going to continue to hike rates, which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, and that caused prices for Bitcoin to go down. But then it started to come out, and you can see that on the Wall Street Journal, that apparently Fed officials are going to need to be a little bit more thoughtful about their pace of tightening going through into their next meeting. That was Fed Governor Christopher Waller. And that could potentially mean that this could be the last 75 basis point hike, and then it would only be 50 basis point hikes and maybe even lower rate hikes in the future. So this ended with the stock market actually finishing in the green. And as you saw, Bitcoin is trending back towards the green itself. Yes, some Fed officials have been signaling their desire to both slow down the pace of increases soon and stop raising rates early next year. To see how their moves this year are slowing the economy, because when they do tighten things, there's generally supposed to be, according to their theories and philosophies, some sort of lag before you see an effect, if they have some sort of actual effect. Arguably, they I think do actually have an effect over the longer term, as it just becomes more difficult to acquire debt for companies to get as cheap their debt as they had before, because the interest rate is higher. And it's just generally, for the most part, you have those who keep taking on debt to pay off past debt. That works a lot with corporations, and that just isn't as feasible in a rising rate increase environment. That leads potentially to more layoffs, yada yada. You guys know how it goes. And so it could be the case that if they continue to raise rates, they already are causing a lot of damage, and it's just not visible so far in some of the data that they're looking at. So that could be part of the reason why they're slowing things down. Although they'll probably continue until, again, something does break. But from like November through, again, the beginning of next year seems to be where more and more people are seeing a pivot, and that's probably why you're seeing the stock market trade higher, because it is just more volatile these days than crypto. Maybe a sign of bottoming. Maybe this would be some new indicator that we are bottoming out here on markets. Not entirely sure. But again, Bitcoin hasn't really wanted to drop down into the $18,000 lower $18,000 bounds that it had hit back in, what was it, June? Although it was around 18,900 something today, it's back at 19,176 while we're doing this video. Ethereum also up 1.5%, almost at 1,300 at 1,299.93. Pretty much a flat market here. So I did also want to go back and revisit ultrasound.money just to point something out again. Yesterday we looked at the supply growth for ETH. If you were averaging over the last 30 days, it was at 0%. So basically no issuance at all over that time period, looking at the amount that has been burnt as well. And actually today it did dip down into a negative average issuance. I guess the next one would be like yearly average issuance and so on. But this is really nice to see, despite the less purchasing and minting of tokens like the Zen protocol that we had talked about, or the Zen token. We are still seeing that there are enough NFTs being bid on, enough transfers for many reasons for Ethereum, etc., that are leading to fees continuing to be burned and a negative supply growth, which is why this is not just sound money, it's ultrasound money. Zing! I saw this article and I wish to share it with you, since we are talking about prices right now. And this was posted. Hola, Paul. Hola, Azam. Hola, Kevin. Hello to all of you guys. Hello. So his 3 historically accurate soda Bitcoin on-chain metrics that are flashing bottom. So it's nice to be able to try to time the market, try to time when the bottom is happening. I'm hearing a little bit more frothiness around that on crypto Twitter, people looking for those kinds of metrics, and that's something that Cointelegraph took a look at today. There were some measures here that I even hadn't seen before. I thought this was interesting. The Bitcoin RVZ score. Apparently, this looks at Bitcoin's overbought and oversold statuses based on market and fair value, according to them. When it's down here in the green area, that is potentially a market bottom, as we've seen if you're looking at this indicator through time. And if it's in the red zone or above it, it means that we're oversold. It tends to be in that zone for a very short period of time, although it does tend to start flattening and going sideways for a while in the green when we are at a bottom. So potentially this could be one of the best times to be accruing for yourself some Bitcoin. Also, there is the risk that long-term hodlers, long-term hodlers know that they should be selling when prices are getting quite high. They're just feeling a little bit more antsy, like, is this the top? Just like we're talking about how is this the bottom? They're kind of doing this at the top. And the same way, they might be more interested in accruing more long-term hodlers when the prices are low. And this is exemplified here by this chart. Similarly to the last one, there is a red zone and there's a green zone. And this is also showing us this Bitcoin reserve risk according to what they're looking at here and those accounts. Addresses, whatever, that we are in the green zone, and this could be an opportune time to be buying Bitcoin, as it could undergo a strong bullish reversal sooner or later. And then they have something here called the Bitcoin Puel multiple, which kind of reminds me of the Trace of the Mayer multiple, although it's a little bit different. This one reflects, it says here, the ratio of the daily Bitcoin issuance in US dollar and the 365-day moving average of daily issuance. So when it's in the 0.3 to 0.5 range, they're in the green zone, similarly to the last two as well. Good buying opportunities. And when it's in the 4 to 8, that's the red zone. Again, a signal that we might be near a bottom. To me, still having rate hikes coming out, I find it, I loathe to think that the Federal Reserve is going to be raising to 100 basis points, 125 basis points, as they've already done it's the fastest tightening cycle that they've had since back in the 70s and 80s period right now. And I struggle to think that they will be tightening even more as we go into this period and things do begin to break. A lot of people talking about bond markets across the globe having issues, liquidity issues, a stronger dollar, what that is doing. So I think that kind of scenario where they were, for example, to say that they're going to be hiking even more aggressively would be what really brings Bitcoin down further. Unless, for example, we have something catastrophic happen, like I guess one of the more trusted exchanges, like let's say a Gemini or a Coinbase or a Binance, were to get hacked and a lot of funds were to flow from there. I find it difficult to see what kind of news would bring Bitcoin now down below that $18,000 level. You could look at some of the technical indicators, like I've said, some chartists are looking at and trying to wait for, but that to me is gambling right now. So to me, this is just either a wait and see or a buy and dollar cost average kind of time period. I don't know that we're going to be going lower very surely based on a lot of what I'm looking at. But anyway, once we do start to reverse, who knows how high we could go this time, right? I mean, we went up to $60,000. That is insane in this last cycle. I remember we went from, what was it, 1,200 up to 20,000. That was quite insane. So we're hearing now from Biden possibly, what's the long-term price target for one BTC from the horse's mouth?
Over $1.2 billion. Over $1.2 billion. Over $1.2 billion.
I love that they repeated 3 times because that's exactly what the price could be. I'm just joking if you don't know, right? I feel like I have to say these things sometimes. Usually you have to clarify when you're making a joke more in the written format, like on Twitter, like /s. But just in case, for the hyper wokeists, right? Against comedy, I'm going to say it right now. Not an inducement to buy Bitcoin because I'm not sure it's going that high, although it would be quite nice, I think. So one of the co-founders of Ethereum, Gavin Wood, is stepping down from his role as CEO at Parity Technologies. They were previously founded as ETH Core back in late 2015 by these fine individuals here. Aaron Buchanan, TJ Saw, Ken Kapler, and Jutta Steiner, with Bjorn Wagner joining later on. Bjorn is going to be the new CEO of Parity. They're pretty much, their main project right now is a Polkadot. Polkadot came out back in 2020 with their idea of cross-communicating parachains and has been working ever since. And it doesn't necessarily mean that Gavin Wood is going to be disappearing from his roles at Parity. He's still going to be the majority stakeholder, and he's going to be retaining his preferred title as chief architect. He wrote here on the Parity.io blog. He wrote, anyone who has worked with me knows where my heart lies. I'm a thinker, coder, designer, and architect. Like many such people, I work best asynchronously. A great day is taking 10 hours straight to think out some problem, prototype something, or collapse some disparate thoughts into an article. The role of CEO has never been one which I have coveted, and this dates back long before Parity. I can act at being a CEO well enough for a short while, but it's not where I'm going to find eternal happiness. A good CEO needs to be available to others on a far more continuous basis. They need to enjoy representing the company both internally and externally. They need to not be bothered by large swaths of their time becoming eaten up in meetings and calls with a plethora of multicolored boxes on their calendar. So that kind of role is not for everyone. I know for myself, I never particularly was drawn to the idea of being a CEO, and it seems to be the case here with Gavin Wood, although his leadership does seem to have put Parity, at least partly, in the mainstream here, and continues to be a relative and influential company in the blockchain crypto ecosystem. When they do something, a lot of people do pay attention. So anyway, I do wish Gavin well with his renewed free time and his new pursuits in life. So Voyager has had their plan approved by the court. So they had been trying to be bought out by crypto exchange FTX, and this has been again approved by the court. This for about $1.422 billion. So the next step is going to be a vote. You're going to be, if you are due funds, if you're a customer of Voyager, there's going to be a vote by which you have to vote by November 29th to see if you also agree with the terms of this deal. They are trying to get people to accept the plan, saying it's the best one. Although there do seem to be rival plans. I haven't dug too much into those, but you should probably do a little bit more homework if this might not be the best kind of deal for you based on what they are doing here. It does seem like it's going to be over 70% of funds might be sent back to you, as I said before. Don't quote me on that, however, and you will have options as to how you want to receive that cryptocurrency. If you make an account on FTX, they're going to give you $50 if it's a new account deposited straight to your account. Plus, you'll be able to get your funds back in cryptocurrency. They currently support 77% of the tokens that Voyager had available on FTX, so those will be able to be redeemed. But if you don't like the idea of making an FTX account, or you just want fiat back, then that is going to be an option if you don't register at FTX exchange account. So there's more information here on investvoyager.com/blog if you want to look into that a little bit more. So we talked about and looked at BitBoy yesterday and his outrage at the suits. He was upset at those who are trying to undermine decentralization in cryptocurrency. When he had some harsh words, according to BitBoy, it was only the second time ever that he said the F word on his show, but the situation seems to have warranted it. So following that up, he was kind of upset at Ryan Sean Adams, glasses wearing, suit representing fool. It looks like Ryan Sean Adams is going to have BitBoy on his podcast. BitBoy seems to have graciously accepted. It seems like Bankless is going to have two really interesting interviews soon, at least if you want to see BitBoy interviewed by them. I don't know about really interesting. But anyway, the drama factor, right? This is what we live for a little bit in the bear market. This is what we got. So there's going to be that on Bankless as well. It looks like Ryan Sean Adams is going to be interviewing Eric Voorhees. So we looked at his response to Sam Bankman-Fried yesterday, what he wrote about how we should be setting standards for ourselves that are pretty anti-decentralization in crypto. But he's going to be having Sam Bankman-Fried on. He's going to be having Eric Voorhees on. And it looks like BitBoy will be on there very soon. So it looks like Ryan's doing quite well at Bankless with some of their content generation. But some of the other fine content generation that has sprung up today is based on this individual. I believe his name is Jonathan Mann, who has been doing a song a day for 13 years. And those are being sold in a way, I guess you could say, as NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain. He did create one today for BitBoy, the BitBoy remix. He wrote, "Please Please don't sue me, BitBoy. It's all in good fun. Let's take a look and see if you guys want to bid on this one.
Trying to tell you this is about money for me. It's me. I'm here fighting for all the money. Devils, douchebag, with these freaking glasses on. This is about money for me. It's me. I'm here fighting for all the money. Fuck, I don't. I'm the one who does. I'm the one who does.
Please don't sue me, BitBoy, like you sued that other guy. I know I'm no way down, but this is just a paradise. When you come for bankless and RSA my guy, that's when I respond with a hearty remix battle cry.
Ryan, Sean, Adams. I don't know who the F you are. Ryan, Sean, Adams. I don't know who the F you are. Ryan, Sean, Adams. I don't know who the F you are. Ryan, Sean, Adams. I don't know who the F you are. This is about money for me. It's me. I'm here fighting for all the money. Devils, douchebag, with these freaking glasses on. This is about money for me. It's me. I'm here fighting for all the money. Fuck, I don't. I'm the one who does. I'm the one who does. I'm the one who does. All the money. I'm the one who does. All the money. I'm the one who does. All the money. I'm the one who does. I'm the one who does. I'm the one who does. All the money. I'm the one who does. All the money. I'm the one who does.
Damn. That's fire. I can't believe this guy has been spitting out a song a day like that for 13 years. And I did go back and check out some of his songs because he links his YouTube here on songaday.world. And some of those songs, he may not have been able to carry a tune as well back in the day, but you got to give him something for being creative and quite funny. Anyway, a song a day for 13 years and 294 days. That's 5,042 songs. Thanks, JT. Thank you so much for that tip, man. Shout out to Alex Jones from all your friends at ETH Finance. Thank you so much, JT. Yeah, I was reading some of what you were writing around that, and it was quite hilarious. I actually gave you a mention yesterday. I don't know if you were watching the show, but I gave you, I think, a shout at some point there. Appreciate the tip, man. Yeah. The Alex Jones of crypto. Yeah, that Alex Jones energy. I think that maybe we need a little bit more of it in crypto. Why not? If BitBoy's the guy for it, if he wants to be that guy, he's obviously passed that audition with flying colors. I'm all for it. But yeah, I mean, these are really interesting NFTs based on some of the instruments. It changes how the NFT looks based on the topic. Like if it's video games, it'll change the background as well. It starts with January 1st of this year to January of the next year, and it goes to the entire color spectrum every single day. But then the next year it lowers the brightness of that spectrum, till it reaches like black eventually to like signify death. So a lot of work seems to have gone into this, and so I'm glad he took advantage of the situation to give us even more meme-worthy, culture-worthy stuff. And I can see why the bidding has gone up. Although I guess it could be higher. It's currently at 0.4469 ETH. And it started at ETH, 0.01337 ETH, where there are currently 10 bids in total. But I think it's one of the more interesting NFTs since it just was something that so many are looking at right now. You can also find that on OpenSea, all these different NFTs. And they're all linked to a song too, which is super cool, like on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not going to play the rest of them there, but yeah, cool. Anyway, Olympus DAO was hacked. This was something that I had used back in the day myself. It was one of the nicer yielding applications during DeFi for me. That was just easy. It was super easy to just click a button and start earning. They were probably the most popular rebasing platform that allowed you to get some sort of yield using these bond-like mechanics that were added in there. Some of you might remember this one. They've since changed somewhat, so they're no longer giving out insane APYs. Now they're doing like this base yield that right now it's, as you can see there, 7.4%. So wow, have things come down for some of the highs. I think this token is down like 99% from back in January or something like that, where it was like at they had about $5 billion worth of total value. I remember something like that. Anyway, they're down quite a bit. They're just like at $500 million right now. No, only 218 million thousand value deposited there. So not as popular, and that's maybe why. No, I guess that's not necessarily why, but why this was a smaller profile hack, I guess you could say. So there was a hacker today, well, actually like at 1:23 a.m. Eastern time, who was able to take out 30,437 of these Olympic tokens, the OHM tokens. They also have like their governance token, but they just took the pure OHM tokens there. After finding a loophole, as it says here, it seems related to the Olympus DAO's bond fixed expiry teller contract, which has a redeem function that does not properly validate the input, resulting in what was a $292,000 loss, according to PeckShield, who does look and do some blockchain forensics and do reports into some of these hacks, of course. So this didn't result in a huge loss in price. As it said there, the token was only down like 1.2% following the hack, trading for just under $10 a unit. And it does, and this was confirmed, by the way, on the Discord of Olympus DAO. The funds were returned, however, so there has been no loss. There was some sort of negotiation deal that was done. I haven't seen the terms disclosed anywhere, but as it says here on theblock.co, the hacker has returned all of the stolen tokens following a negotiated deal. A spokesperson from Olympus DAO told the block, and those funds were returned, all of them, in 2 separate transactions that you can find on either scan. So really nice. I think it's generally quite good when you see funds being returned. It just goes to show projects that they shouldn't rest on their heels, that they might need to do more work in regards to security. It raises awareness about so much, honestly, but I can't imagine that the bounty will be very much, since they only took out $300,000. Maybe if they had taken out like $5 million, they might be eligible to get back $200,000 for returning the funds. But either way, it's nice to see that the funds were returned and no users are going to have some sort of issues because of this scenario, and it's going to patch, obviously, what was uncovered here as an issue. Could have been a lot worse. Only $300,000 and they were all returned. Not too bad. Anyway, love you too, JT. I really do, man. Thank you. I'm honored, honestly, whenever you're here. Renee popped 3 days in a row. You're on a streak. True, Renee. Keeping count. Thanks, man. I am trying to be here as much as possible, and I'm glad you appreciated it. So there's not just a terrible amount. Something about in the news that is like Fire Festival. There's going to be a bunch of crypto millionaires that are moving over there to create a crypto enclave or something like that. But terribly not a lot of really important news. So I think I'll leave it there for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. And here is our quote of the day. Kind words do not cost much, yet they accomplish much, by Blaise Pascal. I like that one, since sometimes it might be a few days before we see each other next. I encourage you to just remember to be kind to each other. And it's something that does bother me a lot on Twitter, like especially yesterday. It was one of those days where it felt like everything I read was about someone bashing someone else, or bashing some corporation, or bashing something. And I'm like, where is the good? Where's the other side of this? And it was just so hard to see. So maybe we can try to spread a little bit more out there if we can. So I'll leave you with that. Take care, everyone. Much love. Thanks for joining me today, and stay cryptic. Peace.